Welcome back to another episode of Crypto Cliff Notes. It's your boy Jonah and Pat, and today what we have is a special guest from AdAstrium, the project launching here mid-April. He's going to give you guys the breakdown of the project, when it's going to be coming out. He's going to tell you about himself. He's going to, get into some great details of the project, and I think this project is going to absolutely explode. Me and Pat have worked closely with him with the project itself, and I think this thing is going to absolutely blow. All right, so family, get ready, get your notepads out, take some notes on this project because this one's going to be a good one. Man, how you doing? Everything good?
Hey, yes, thank you so much for the introduction. That was uh, really good words to hear. Thank you for having me on, and I'm excited to share my project with you guys and to everyone in your community.
Absolutely. So, tell the community what's your name, where are you from, and tell us how you got into crypto and NFTs.
All right, so my name is Keith. I'm the founder of AdAstrium, one of two founders, and I've been in the CNFT space since near the beginning. I did almost all of the early stuff. I just missed Clay Nation, so that's sort of the my biggest regret not getting in a couple weeks earlier than I did. I've been in marketing for over a decade before going full time on this project itself. And I guess the answer to why I decided to start a project is because back in the day, the landscape of NFT projects, there was just so many, and it was so tough to find a project that ticked all the boxes of what I thought a project should be. So hey, we have something to contribute. We love this space. We want to build here, and that sort of led us to our long journey, all the way up to where we are now.
Tell us what your project's about. Introduce yourself. Give us a little bit of your background, and what you plan to do with this thing.
All right. Well, again, my background itself, like I guess it's as simple as just I was an investor. I've been really curious about the CNFT space. I believe in the potential of NFT technology and how it can sort of shape the the commodity experience of the entire world. Um, you know, moving forward, like not just within this sort of our little echo chamber of our little niche space as a Web3 product. So AdAstrium is sort of um, it's not just built around creating a community within the CNFT space, and treating the community, I mean, the core community as sort of our main consumers of our NFTs, if that's making sense. The idea really is to build this business that we can launch outside of the Web2 space and sort of, yeah, extract liquidity from there and be self-sustaining from the outside, like essentially like a normal digital commodity that just so happens to be built upon NFTs, and that specific thing is not something I see in a lot of other projects, and it's something that we really want to push the conversation forward by, what better way to do that is by actually just doing it and being a proof of the concept that it works.
What is AdAstrium?
So add Astrium, yeah, with a hard ass, is essentially again, of course, it's a community-driven project, an art and tech project centered around the stars and the star theme. Now, of course, like any other CNFT project, our goal is to build and foster our core community, which will be the first star owner community on Cardano. And then, like I said, use the funds raised to actually develop this application that we can then use to sort of market to the Web2 space and use it as an onboarding vehicle, but also as a profit generating vehicle for our main collection holders. Now, treating them more like investors as opposed to just customers. Now, yeah, and the form that this product will take is sort of this iteration of the commercial star registry concept, which I don't know if you're familiar or if anyone in the audience is everyone in the audience is familiar, but for a bit of context, commercial star registries are essentially those entities that they essentially grab a list of stars, put it on a website, and sell you the rights to rename, put your name next to one of these stars just listed on like a spreadsheet. You know those infomercials back in the day that they used to do this a lot. And there's actually a decent market for it. I know it sounds kind of niche for a lot of people, but if you Google Star Registry right now, you'll see like more than a dozen right on the front page. And the first one has like 50,000 customers, all selling for like $50 a pop. So the reason why we think this is a viable niche to build upon is that it's stayed relatively the same for decades. There's not a lot of improvement with the concept itself, and we sort of knew about this concept and sort of put two and two together with everything that NFTs and the NFT, sort of community concepts can do for this outdated idea. And the wiggle room or the room to improve it is so large that it's not that hard to, with a few things here and there, it's sort of easy to become the best uh, version of this. Like we're on the mindset that it's better to be the best thing in a relatively small niche than to be, like rank 100th in a large market like gaming, for example. So that's sort of the gist of the overall thing of what we're trying to do.
Can you just go into the basics of when you guys plan on launching, when you guys plan on minting this collection, this first collection, what the price is, and whitelist versus
Quantity, everything.
quantity, everything like that, the basics behind the minting prospect that's coming up.
Absolutely. So our main collection, we call them the Astrid stars because they're one part this artistic personifications of real stars, and the NFTs themselves are essentially ingrained with the identity of real stars. Like in their metadata, um, there's real star data to signify their one-to-one correlation with the real stars. So it's going to be a supply of 4,000 on the first phase of our mint, because we split the mint up. I mean the collection up into two mints, just because it's the bear market and we have to be sensitive to these sort of things. And the price goes for 50 ADA a pop. So yeah, that. And in terms of the second mint, that's something we're gonna have to determine later on. But we will sort of um, keep our ear open to the community, and be sensitive to what the floor price is and all of that stuff before we make any final decisions regarding the second phase of it. But all in all, 1 and 2, that's going to be 4,000 plus 2,000, so a total of 6,000 of our main collection.
With public allocation and whitelist allocation, how does that work, pretty much?
All right. So as I mentioned, the first phase of the mint is going to be 4,000, and I forgot to mention, we're actually doing the drop on April 15, 12 p.m. UTC. And for the first hour, that's going to be dedicated to our pass holders. So all in all, we have 333 passes. That's 3 whitelists each. So they have an allocation for around up to 1,000, more or less. And then the next 3 hours, I should say, will be dedicated for our whitelisted, and then beyond that, it's just that's gonna be public. But there's no difference in prices, just this
Time slot
specific allocation, for time slots. And the thing is, though, another peculiar thing I need to mention is that we may 2x the whitelist allocations for those currently whitelisted, because there's been this trend recently where a lot of the really hype mints, I'm not saying we're going to be one of those, but there's this trend that mints are getting attacked by bots. We're familiar with Tokenizer doing a lot of shenanigans here and there, and that's something that we might want to avoid by over allocating our whitelist spots.
Is there still available whitelist spots for people to get, and if so, how can they get them?
Oh, absolutely. So we did this on purpose, like whitelist tools the trend is to use them as sort of this marketing tool. So we did save up a lot of our whitelists leading up to the final stretch of our marketing right before mint. So right now, all you need to do essentially is just hop on our Discord, be semi-active, express your interest. We're not gonna, hold this whitelist like it's like this really difficult thing to get. Also, our Twitter, we're gonna be hosting a lot of giveaways for almost every tweet. Just like, react, you'll get your opportunity, and pretty much that's it. Just make your presence known to us, and we'll definitely hear you.
All right, so what is one of the ultimate goals with this? All right, so we get these NFTs, you get a
Mhm.
representation of a star. Where do
Yeah.
we go from there?
Well, there's that's a tough question because there's a lot of things for everyone, that we sort of made it in a way where there's a lot of points of interest for various people, because we know that the star concept is not for everyone.
Right.
But we made it so, like, for example, the art itself, a lot of people in our community like us purely because of the art itself. There's this, it's a very different style, and this anime type style that, again, it may not appeal to everyone, but there's an audience for that. The next, I would say, a really big one, which is quite unique to us, is that our NFTs are very giftable. I was in the the voice call in the inmates Discord last night, and they noted that being able to take this NFT, mint this NFT, rename it, and, like, let's say, rename it to your wife, and then actually gift her that NFT, and then show her in our application that when she clicks this star, her name's gonna pop up for everyone to see. That's sort of one of the bigger draws. And I didn't realize it was that big of a draw until last night, but everybody was like, yeah, 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 I'm definitely gonna mint that. I'm gonna name my four daughters. I'm gonna mint four, name each one after my four daughters, and I was thinking, like, what are the odds of that NFT going back into secondary market? So there's this element of sort of stickiness with the people who mint it. So I think we're also building this sort of this audience who are not just in it to flip it, you know. But apart from that, of course, personally, as I'm communicating to the CNFT space, what I want is for these to be an investment in the project itself. That's why I said, like, hey, we're using the funds to create this actual product that we hope to make money with, push the space forward, let the Web2 space know that, hey, we're creating products that aren't just for, like a flip thing, um, but actual interesting products that we can enjoy. And that's sort of the pitch, that I'm trying to make to the CNFT space. That I want this to be an investment, and your main collection NFT will be almost like a share of the entire project itself. And I know there's a lot of legalities around, profit sharing and stuff like that. But in the Philippines, there's no I've checked, there's no law restricting us from doing anything of that sort, at least at this day. So yeah, it's a bunch of different things. And there's something for everyone, I think.
That's awesome. I mean, one thing that I noticed, just as when you were talking about the star and having the star map, and when you get these NFTs that represent you in the constellations, right? So through the stars, one thing that I said, if it really becomes huge, this could be a way of branding and marketing, maybe for your business, so that could be, pretty huge down the line if it becomes something large, and a big group that you were talking about, like a star group. They see this and like, oh, maybe we can utilize this star map to kind of, portray our business. So businesses will start, coming into play with this type of thing with branding and marketing, because that's really what, people use Instagram and Twitter and all these different social media platforms for, is branding and marketing, and to create, businesses, whatever it might be. But people really just want want to show themselves, whether it's a
Yes.
picture, whether it's a symbol of something that symbolizes them. They want to feel some type of expression when they're using something. So, I think this is a pretty cool idea on what you're doing with the star map and these NFTs.
Yeah, yeah. It's so cool that you bring that up actually, because that's really the direction that we want to take this piece of tech towards. Like if for anyone listening, if you go to our website, you can actually access this application that we've already sort of built, the star map itself. Um, right now, it's of course it's in its alpha demo phase, and it's not completely functional yet. It's almost functional. All we need to do is be able to connect wallets, and that's going to come in the next 2 weeks. But anyways, what this is it's this 3D space that we built, which contains all 6,000 stars, and we've uploaded all of our NFTs already onto the star map. So all of the, you can see everything there. All the art and all of their metadata are already there, and all the stars in this 3D space are coordinate accurate to their 3D counterparts. And when you click them, it opens a pop-up window which just simply shows right now the stars data. But where we want to go with this, the direction we want to take it, is to sort of make all of these like a link tree page. So very soon, within the next few months, we'll be able to holders will be able to put their Twitter, their Discord links, and within this star profile, and then they'll be able to generate a link that leads to this, and you can use that as sort of your alternative to Linktree. But the difference is it's a social page that resides in sort of this game world, this 3D world that we can do so much more. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. There's nothing like it in the market, and there's so much more that we can do and build on top of it. Plus, we can infinitely make this 3D space bigger by simply sectioning off, splicing together sectioned off chunks of like 6,000, let's say, all the way up to a million. There's no, real limit to how large we can make it. So being able to scale is something that we can definitely do when we start, marketing this outside of the CNFT space, and that's sort of how we really want to do it. You know, the final product, a lot of the stars are going to be free to use, and then um, anybody can sign up and experience this thing that we've built. Of course, we're taking deep consideration to not, watering down the value of the NFTs of the main holders to the core community. We've outlined a plan in our white paper on how to do that and all that stuff. Um, but yeah, I feel like I may be monologuing a bit too much. Please, just jump in if I'm getting too deep in there. But that's essentially what our plan is, to be able to make this product that can scale. That's something that there's no barrier to being able to use it. And we also outlined a way that we're gonna monetize this, that it doesn't cause that much friction, you know. Yeah.
Okay. So not only are you building a brand, for your collection, but you're also finding ways in the future that you can kind of open this up to, monetization and branding and, so much more that, what you stated, there's so much more to it. And I think that's a way to create a good product or service, whatever you want to, could be both, right? Is leaving it open-ended to where, you can build off of it. And once obviously you have the community and you continue to build your community with these NFTs and in your project, I think you'll be able to get ideas from other people, that have the same interests as you. And, you can kind of, take it from there, or maybe a business comes along and partners with you and it's like, hey, you should do something like this. We should partner and kind of work with something doing it like this. So it's very open-ended, and that's what I like about projects, because you never know. And it's not just, okay, it's just going to be a profile picture and it's going to have this one utility, or it's going to have just this one game that probably won't take, you build a game in maybe 6 months, when in reality, games, real good games, take 3 to 4 years from now. So I think what you're doing is great, man. And I think that leaving it open ended like that just leaves so much opportunity on the table for not just yourself, but your whole entire community.
Right, so I know we're talking about stars, so obviously every single one is like kind of a one-on-one, but are we going to deal with any kind of rarities, traits, like where you can get like, is there going to be a ranking system, or is everything going to be right across the board, pretty much even? Um, and then on top of that, what would you say would be the biggest benefit to holding one of these?
All right. Okay. So now that we're on the topic of stars, first, before we move forward, I'd like to, put out a disclaimer there that we're not uh, claiming to have people that mint or hold our NFTs literally own the stars that they're
Right.
attached to. Okay. You'd be surprised that, there's a, I need to say that more often than I thought that I would need to be honest. It's just like, saying you own an ape. You don't literally own an ape. You own
Right.
yeah. So with that out of the way, the stars that we claim that you can own are of course within the confines of the project itself. But that said, the identity of each of these stars are real stars. And to answer your question in terms of rarity, yes, and we're taking an approach that it's very understandable for the normal, the CNFT community or the NFT community in general, because there's an art component to it. We've gone really heavy on the art. It's a generative art collection with the usual traits, but we have a lot of things that make it very unique, such as our the art, the astrids, the characters themselves, are full body and they come in 6 different colors. And with that color change, the entire set of traits change to that specific color. So each trait, so we have around 300 different traits, head, body, and face.
Okay.
They all have 6 different colors, which leads to like over 1,000 layers in total that we used just for this 4,000 collection. So what that means is that we're gonna have one of the most diverse collections just visually, all of them. It's
Right.
going to be a very very well-rounded collection, and we're very proud of that. We've we haven't cherry picked any of our sneak peeks. I mean, we did a bit, of course, to highlight the best looking ones, but we're not shy about, like in our Discord, we dropped 100, just straight up 100 in sequence to show that we're not hiding any of these ones in our collections. So
Okay.
there is that kind of rarity, but also the real stars rarity plays into that as well. Like for example, the named stars, the officially named stars by the scientific bodies. In our collection, there's like 58 of them. So you have Proxima Centauri, Sirius, the really famous stars, which we feel will be the most valuable to real star enthusiasts. Those are sort of our version of the one of ones, and those are going to be, if you're looking to get the most important pieces of our collection, those are the ones that you need to get. And then there's also the colors themselves. There are more red stars than any other kind of red star, yellow. And then the blue stars are among the rarest ones. So there's only 6 blue stars in the main collection. So that's something you need to keep an eye out for. Does the star belong in a constellation? That's also in the metadata. So if, in terms of rarity, yes, you can look for the ones that are rare, but if it's your constellation, it's going to be more important to you, so there's a lot of ways we can play this. And yeah, we've weighted these rarities. We have our own rarity system. It's not 1-to-1, so it's not wonky looking.
Gotcha.
And yeah, essentially. I feel like there's another question in there that I forgot.
Yeah, so it was like the biggest benefit of holding.
The biggest benefit of holding. Well, I think we touched on this quite a few times. Earlier in the interview. There's a lot of points of interest for this NFT. Like, yes, it's a star. There's art. For some people, that's going to be the most important part. Some people, they really like it because it's very giftable. They have already some people in mind that they want to dedicate this star to. Maybe their wife is pissed off at them for investing too much in NFTs, and being able to show them their, hey, I named this after you. Maybe it's gonna fix all of their problems, you know. Um, and also there's this investment component, which personally to me, that's what I feel is the most important part, because that's really why I created a project this way. It's because that's what I think projects should be. It should be sort of an investment, or not just crowdfunding, crowd ownership of this thing. So yeah, that said, many points of interest, something for everyone, and I guess I'll leave it to the person minting to decide which is the most important to them.
It's a good answer.
Yep. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Before we head out of here, is there anything else you wanted to share real quick, to the community about this, upcoming amazing project that's coming?
Yeah. Well, we try our best to lay everything out there. I'm not really one for hard selling. I know that might not be what the community wants to hear the most, because it is an investment, but I want it to be so that hey, everything's out there. We're not hiding anything.
Right.
You can do your own. If you do your own research on our project, you'll literally see everything that we're up to. There's nothing vague about us, and I hope it resonates with you, because we're really trying our best, and we're trying to do things in a very honest way and in a fair way, and in a way that extracts as little bit of liquidity from the space as we can. And we're purpose built to bring back liquidity into the Cardano space. So I'm not one to toot our own horn here. We're really trying our best to do good for the space. And if you believe it, you believe it. If it resonates with you, it resonates with you. And I hope it does. So I guess
That's all
that's
you can ask.
Yep.
There we go. All right. So what I'll do is I'll put all the links to the project down below, their Twitter, website, Discord. You guys can, get whitelist spots right now as soon as you see this. We appreciate you for watching this. Please hit that like, comment down below if you have any questions, and subscribe, and make sure you get in their Discord. Project is coming out very, very soon. Check it out. Do your due diligence, do your research. This is a project I think is absolutely going to take off. Again, not financial advice. Do your own research. We appreciate you for watching this, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.